y'all, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Tanya, and today I'm going to be sharing a flip through of my October daily 2023. It's December right now, but I finally finished, so I wanted to do a flip through, and hopefully you don't mind having some Halloween in December. So I made my own cover this time. I did a 4x6 album, and so all I did was I used cardstock paper, punched a bat shape in there and laminated them, and then punched the holes. And I did have this 2023 tag on the rings, but it was like flopping around and bugging me, so I ended up putting a little eyelet there and adding it in there so it stays put on the cover. And please ignore my nails because I missed my manicure appointment. Behind that, I just have a piece of acetate. That's a spider web. I got this from scrapbook.com, but I don't think it's available anymore. And then I just have some vellum behind that to make it darker. I have a little October tag. I think this is $49 in Market, and a little paper clip. I am using Allie Edwards' October or Halloween kit for 2023, and I think I also have some of her 2022 stuff in here. This came from our 2023 kit, and I just stamped Beware on there, and then I sewed it down and added a little eyelet for some decoration, and then you can flip it up, and it has my reason why for this year. And I did mess up a little bit on the sewing, put it in the wrong spot, but I didn't want to go back and redo it, so I just left it. Then every year I do start out with putting tags for Kevin and I, just because I think it's fun. So this year I did pictures of us holding a toxic sign, and then I made them black and white. I did Mad Scientist and Gravekeeper. And then I made the tags that looked like they were ID badges from Toxic Incorporated. So for me, I am Dr. Octavia Nightshade, Mad Scientist. I work in the lab department. And I have my age, my alias is my name, hire date 10/31/2023, and then special skills, concocts deadly potions and elixirs. And then for Kevin, his name is Seamus McGee, and he picked out his name. He's a gravekeeper, and he works on the maintenance crew, and his special skills are communications with the dead. On the back, I just have some little tags that say Beware, all who enter here. Day one was all about my book club for, my book club. We were reading the Violin Conspiracy by Brendan Slocum. And then afterwards, I went to Barnes & Noble and picked up my book for the next month. So I just picked up a sleeve from their coffee shop. And then I picked up a couple of books. So we were going to read Black Cake the next month, and then I also picked up The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. If you haven't read his series yet on the Thursday Murder Club, it's really good. And there's a picture of my book club, so I just covered up. You will see some stickies throughout this album, just covering up things that I don't want to share online. So I don't like to share pictures of people online unless I've asked them specifically if they're okay with it. So I just covered them up. Did some journaling about book club. And then this is where we went to eat at the Hidden House. Here's my Barnes & Noble receipt. So I just copied it onto this parchment looking paper and made it all wrinkly and stuck it in. And I made a tag out of the Barnes & Noble cafe, out of the cup from my Barnes & Noble drink. And this just says found objects, and a picture of me with my books and my coffee at Barnes & Noble. For day two, I'm telling the story about Only Murders in the Building. I love that TV show, and I loved this season. Sorry about the glare, just a picture of the season poster. And then this flips open. And so we had a little chips and dips party on the season premiere. And I dressed up in my tie-dye sweatshirt and had my dips. So if you watch the show, you'll kind of know what that means. But there's a picture of me. I had my knitting needle stabbing Kevin, and his shirt has all this blood on it, and it says, "I'm fine." So I have wake up, eat, dip, repeat, and then just some information here about the season. And if you want to see any of the journaling, it's all on my Instagram, and I'll link my Instagram below. So for day 3 was just some medical stuff. I was having some tests done. Everything is fine, but was just going through some tests at that time. So I didn't really want to share all of that online, but I just put like this medical, it's a transparency from Tim Holtz. So I made that into a pocket with some Tim Holtz paper behind. And then I have little tags for journaling and just some other things, some text messages about it and things like that. And so that's just tucked away there on story 3. Story 4, I made this little pocket here and a booklet. So we went to go see A Haunting in Venice at the movies, which was really good. Loved it. And so then I kind of made a poem. I put pictures and then I made like a little poem about what the movie was about here. So again, if you want to read it, it's on my Instagram. I just have some journaling, our tickets, a picture of us at the theater, more pictures of us at the theater, and then just more of the story, and then the poster. And that just sits back in here. So that's story 4. Story 5 is us getting our flu and COVID vaccine boosters. A picture of us at CVSH. Day 6 is candy. So I got a new candy dish this year. I loved it, thought it was so cute. This one I had a lot of fun, so I kept the main dish in color and then made the counter into black and white so that it pops. Story 7 is about us going to see It, a puppet show called Pup It, and it's an adult puppet show. And it's by All Puppet Players. They have that here in Phoenix, so if you haven't seen it, it's pretty fun. They just have their brochure, the copy of their brochure, and then our tickets and some journaling, and then their business card. And it tucks into a little pocket right here. Day 8, we were watching The Watcher. I think it's on Netflix, pretty sure. But we binged this whole season, and it was just perfectly what we needed. We just had a lazy binge day, and it was perfect for October. So I just made a little slit in my picture to add a tag in. It's kind of hard to get it back in there. There you go. Story 9, I love this layout. It was so much fun to do. This is all about my decorations in our house. So I just took little snippets of pictures in our house. And I love the title, Collector of Curiosities. And then more on the back with some journaling I did on vellum. So I started collecting these little monster dolls. They look like this for Halloween. They're just so much fun. They're all handmade and they're all individual and they have little names on them. So I think that one's Clarice. I think that one's Veronica. And I have Barb. This one's Barb. And that one's Poppy, I think. So I have 4 of them. And just other things that I like around the house. Story 10 is getting my pumpkin spice latte for the year. And I wanted to have a receipt so you could see like how much everything cost at the time. Story 11 was this little tiny circle insert here, and we were listening to this Wednesday record that we got on vinyl. So it's the soundtrack to the show on Netflix. It's really good. So we were listening to that. Story 12 is about just kind of things that were going on at work, and I didn't want to make that public, so I made an envelope and just stuck that in here. So if you open it up, it has my journaling on there. So I have a quote on this side and then journaling on the back. So just a little note for myself when I want to go back and read this in the future. So let's just go around. Story 13, we were traveling to Albuquerque, which is where my husband is from. So I made a pocket out of a photo from the green chili market, or the chili market, I should say, farmer's market. And this was roasting green chili, or journaling about that, and then just some pictures of chilies. And then story 14, we were in Albuquerque, like I said, for the eclipse. So there was an annular solar eclipse this year. So we went and watched that with my mother-in-law. So these were my eclipse glasses. And we got a postcard for the eclipse, and then Kevin's mom wrote us a little note and sent it to us. So we got that in the mail, and I just stuck that in here. And then this page just has little pictures of the eclipse. And then just some journaling. Story 15, we were still in Albuquerque, and they have a international balloon fiesta every year in October. So it just happened to coincide with the eclipse. And you have to get up really early in the morning. I think we got up at like 4 in the morning to go to this thing. It was freezing cold for me, who's from Phoenix. So it was 47. And we waited there for quite a while. They did a drone show with some balloons and things like that. But then they ended up canceling, the balloon ascension because it was too windy. So it was not safe for them to take off. So we didn't actually get to see the balloons take off. So that was kind of disappointing. And then day 16, we were driving home, and the route is along Route 66. So we just took some photos of us on our road trip home. Story 16. Oh, I think that was still all part of story 15 because we did that all in the same day. And then story 16 is my new puppet mug, or not puppet, my It mug that I got this year. This is Pennywise. So I love that. And then we watched It, which I had not watched It. I hadn't watched Stephen King's version of It, or the original version of It. So we watched that this year. I just have my journaling here. And so actually story 16 is about my mug collection. So all about my fall mugs. So Pennywise was my new one this year, but then I have a bunch of other ones. And I had this page from previous year. I had made this earlier, and then I just ended up using it this year. So that was a quick page for me to do. And these twist around so you can kind of see. And then my other mugs, I think that's all of them. Hopefully you can see that. Story 17 is another show we watched on Netflix. It was called Boo Bitch. And so here's my journaling. This is from a Tim Holtz die, and then I just cut out the pictures from the show and stuck behind there. And then tucked my journaling in behind there. And then on the back, just another picture with the title of the show. Story 18, we went to a haunted car wash. So that's something that was new this year. So I'd made kind of a interesting page where I have flip ups. So just different scenes from the car wash. And so you can see different characters. So different characters like chased you around the car wash. Have some journaling. And so I have 2 layers of photos here. And then a big photo. I don't know if you can see that very good, but it's me right here in the car and this guy coming up. And they tried to get in the car, and it was fun. That's story 18. Oops, story 19 is Kevin and I at the pumpkin patch. This is from Allie Edwards. I just thought it was fun and I wanted to include it, so I stuck that in here. And then I was totally inspired by Allie Edwards, her October or Halloween Through the Years album that she did this year, where she did a lot of shaker pockets with things stuck in there. So I think previously I've only just done sequins, but I added in like some pumpkins. These are from Allie's Halloween collection this year. So I had a lot of fun with that. So you'll see more shaker pockets coming up as well. Story 20 was about our front porch. This was pretty much all the decorations we did this year for Halloween. We're kind of lazy on the Halloween decorations this year. I just sewed autumn vibes. These are from Ellie's Studio. And then this has a little magnet and it keeps it closed, but you can open it. And I have some journaling about our porch. And story 21 is about my manicure. I got a black diamond mani-pedi this year. And then I decided to actually just take a photo of my hand with my manicure and print it out large so it fit the whole album. That was really fun. So you can see the manicure. And then I just stamped it with the date on the back side. And I did add these little diamonds all over. One of them just came off, so not stuck on super well. Story 22 is all about Lush, so our Lush bath bombs. Story 23, I made monster cupcakes. And then there's a photo of Kevin eating one of them. He sent me a Snapchat of him eating one, so I stuck that in here. And then again, there's a little sequin pocket right there. And then story 24, we had our friends come over and we made bracelets for, we were going to go to the Taylor Swift concert. So we made, or the movie of her concert, I should say. So we made bracelets so we could exchange them at the movie. Story 25 is my Harry Potter book. I always get a new book that they release, a new illustrated book. They usually release one every October, so I was happy to see they had a new one this year. I got that one and just did some journaling about that. Story 26 is Spirit Halloween. And this is, I think, the last page I did in October, and then I was just kind of burnt out on the project. So I stopped working on it here. And you can kind of tell, like, I don't know, at least I can tell because I didn't do any journaling, just kind of stuck it together. So that's where I stopped, and then I picked it back up again just recently because I really wanted to finish it this year. So story 27 is spooky reads. So these were books that I was reading in the spooky season. So I read Agatha Christie Halloween Party, and I gave it 3 stars. And then I read Killing the Witches, which is all about the Salem witch trials. I only gave it 2 stars. I was even debating giving it 1 star. I really did not like that book at all. And then I read Frankenstein, which I thought was really good, and I gave it 4 stars. So I'd never read Frankenstein before. Story 28, we went to the Arizona State Fair with some of our friends and just had lots of fair food and walked around. So here's another shaker pocket. And we just ate lots of food at the fair, and people watched and things like that. Story 29, we went to the Taylor Swift concert, Eras tour movie of her concert. Did some more journaling here about that, and then photos of us with our friends at the movies. And they had the special popcorn bucket and cup, so we got those. Story 30 is our jack-o'-lanterns. So mine was normal. Kevin got this green pumpkin and he decided to make Frankenstein's monster. So we did that. I helped him do the painting, but he did all the carving. And so I finally got to use this guy. I was so happy. I wanted to use him. So again, another shaker pocket. I put him in there. I have a little pumpkin in there. And then some journaling here about the pumpkin carving. Story 31 is Halloween, and this is about our costume. So we dressed up. Kevin was a Death Eater, and I was a Ravenclaw. And then I just did really one story from Halloween, which was these girls that dressed up like these old grannies. And they were dancing. So we had a block party, and there was a DJ there, so they were dancing. It was hilarious. So I had to do that as my favorite moment for Halloween this year. So I just wrote about that, and then I made another shaker pocket, and then here I have a QR code so you can scan it and see the video that we took of them dancing, which was fun. And then just Happy Halloween on the back. And then ended it with this. So I ended with about, I think these are 2.75 inch rings that I got off Amazon. So I absolutely love this thing. It's so chunky and it was lots of fun. Love doing it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Thanks.